And I'm curious because I was reading a part of your blog where you said you felt like you had a broken picker and you're giving yourself to all the wrong people, and how this is often a result of self-esteem issues, or maybe being raised to think that this behavior is normal, or even so far as associating chaos and pain with love. So now, like, do you run into that ever now that you are happily married, where you're like, okay, I'm not hurting, I'm not in pain. Like, do you love me? Like, is this real? Like, I still feel that sometimes, where I'm like, okay, there's no chaos, there's no pain. Like, is this normal?
Yeah. Like I will literally start an argument. Like I have started an argument because I'm like, wait, like why is this so peaceful? Like isn't love like, like there was a transition for sure when I met my husband because he is so good and he is so pure and I was not used to
Yeah.
someone actually loving me. Like I said in my blog, I thought love was pain. I thought I thought like going through the hard times and, enabling each other, like loving each other for, your flaws and your sin and like still showing up and like just darkness, just being in the dark, like was
Yes.
love. And that's not true. Being in the light is love. Truth is love. And I, I had a big transition because I, my husband is the only man I've ever met that was good for me, that was healthy, that was who really could hold space for me and everything that I am and love me unconditionally. Like I thought I knew Jesus before I married him. Now I feel like 10 times closer to Jesus
Yeah.
because he loves how Jesus loves. And
Mm,
I did not know that was a thing. I just thought you like I don't know, like just a trauma ball, like both of you are
yeah.
like, and
Yeah.
it's just like it's crazy when you meet something stable and secure and with peace, like and you're so used to love being harmful,
Yeah.
it's hard to self-regulate sometimes. It
Yeah.
is because you get kind of uneasy. You're like, wait, there's no like push and pull. There's no like, I'm not having to prove myself to get love. Like I can just
Right.
be like, it's different.
You said how you grew attracted to, yeah, somebody that was stable and available. And it was like, yeah, you started to become attracted to what was actually good for you rather than what wasn't good for you. And I can definitely like relate to that. And that's in that high point is like when I found my husband, but the pain and the trauma doesn't ever fully go away. And I don't know if you can relate to that. This is definitely something I feel alone with, where like it's like I'm like so good. I'm so good with God. Like we're doing the things, we're growing, we're healing, all these things. And then sometimes I feel like, I don't know, like I feel like there's like parts of me that like tend towards self-destruction, where I don't know, like I almost like find my flesh like craving the pain still sometimes. And I'm like, no, like we're not doing that. But it's the same thing, like once an addict, always an addict, but you develop better coping mechanisms and you let God fill that space. And you don't fill it with the temporary things that destroy you. But that doesn't mean that the urge won't still be there sometimes.
I still have a long way to go. Like if I'm being completely honest, like I am just now learning in therapy that a lot of what happened when I was younger was abuse. And that is extremely triggering. And you don't know when you're going to be triggered. You don't know when you're going to have this craving for like what love was in your past life.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that causes a lot of tension. And, this is why it's so, so, so important to be equally yoked because a godly man will guard your heart. A godly man will take that and love you through it, and take all your blemishes and make them clean. And it is just so important that we tell women, that we tell girls, young girls, girls like us, that being equally yoked and finding godly man will absolutely 110% pay off, because this stuff does not just go away overnight. These soul ties we have, they do not go away overnight. You know, and that you need a strong, godly husband who's rooted in faith, who can carry you through that, because you can't do it alone. You know, I wish I had a better example, and I will, like, one of our conversation, like, you'll get to know me more, and I'll just be so transparent, because people need to hear the truth. And like, I don't know, I've started an argument over something because I want attention. Like, I've started an argument over something because I was feeling pain from a prior relationship, or pain that someone caused me that my husband would never do to me. And I get triggered, and I'm like, well, that's what guys do, and so I'm mad at you. like, you know, like, and it's just like, no, like, that's not, you know, and it's just, there's residual stuff from that.
You said I keep referencing this blog because it was literally just so good, but you said you found somebody that was like so not your typical type though. So it's like he wouldn't do the things that, you know, that you are used to. So I'm in the same situation where my husband would literally, he would never do any of that stuff that was done to me before. And I guess, you know, I never feel like he would. I more so feel guilty because, like, I have this pain from the past, from past relationships, where, like, it scares me that I'm going to hurt him because he's still learning how to, like, face his own emotional things and like go there with his own healing and awarenesses. And so it's like he's rooted in like biblical living, and he's really good at, like, he never judges me, anything like this, but he doesn't always know how to respond. And I'm afraid I'm going to hurt him sometimes when I have these, like, feelings from the past come up.
Mm-hmm. I can totally relate to that. And I've literally told my husband that he can leave me if he wants. Like, I was like, you deserve better.
Yeah, I feel that way all the time. I'm like, you deserve somebody that can, like, fully love, because I feel like I'm like, I still feel broken. And this brings me back to another part. I think you said, I am enough. I am not broken. I am redeemed. You said that in the same blog I keep talking about. And, like, I struggle remembering those things about myself, like, because I'm quick to say I'm broken, but, you know, I forget that I am redeemed.
They're lies. And, you know, that's one thing that he always reminds me of is, like, I will go on this tangent and I'll just be like, you know, I blamed you for this, and I projected all my, you know, trauma onto you, like that, and I yelled at you, and, you know, I don't deserve you. Like, we don't believe obviously in divorce, but I'll say it out of emotion. I'll be like, just leave me. Like you deserve better. Like, be free, you know, like, you know, find someone who's normal, or, like, find someone who, like, doesn't have so many issues. Like, and he's like, everything you are saying to yourself is a lie. He's like, those are lies. And I'll be like, but I'm broken. And he'll be like, that's a lie. Like, we will yell forth. Like, I'll be like, I'm this. He's like, that's a lie. Like, that's the enemy. And it's so true, because the enemy is working overtime with us. Let's just say that, because imagine all the women that we are going to set free by telling our story. The enemy does not want our story out. The enemy does not want us to have healthy marriages. The enemy does not want this. He wants us down. He does not want this out. He's like, no, I don't want. They're going to save so many women. They're going to speak life into people. Like, that's what you have to remember when you're saying that to yourself, when you're feeling that, because the enemy is working overtime with you.
Yeah.